and you're watching Snehaji 101 once again. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about something that's special to me because I've been thinking about it for a while, and it's called what skills every doctor should have. Cliche. Let's go. Number one is compassion. I think every doctor should have some compassion when they are treating their patients, because without compassion you would never relate to them. You're never able to understand what they're feeling, and compassion and empathy go hand in hand. It's like if you don't have the feeling of care, you will not be able to do your 100% because you would not want to. You would just be like a mechanical, hardcore science person. And being a doctor is much more than that. Some patients really just need that care and that love along with treating their condition. And actually, it's like a full package that you are providing them that pulls them out of their sickness. Number two is perseverance. Perseverance means that keeping at a job until it's done. And it's extremely important because a lot of the times you'll have patients who you don't really understand, who have some kind of features or symptoms that you've not read before. And for that, you need to dig into your books or to your whatever knowledge source you have, or ask your seniors or colleagues to really understand what your patient has and be able to treat it and do a good job eventually. So it does take a lot of perseverance to keep at the job even when you don't want to, even when you want to give up. So that's my number two skill that's extremely important for every doctor. Number three is patience. I cannot even tell you how much patience it takes to keep hearing nurses screaming at you, or patients screaming at you, or you yourself screaming at you, because really, like, you get frustrated with your job and your work-life balance, or just your personal life sometimes. It just gives you like a damn it all, I'll leave this job kind of feeling. But at the end of the day, you need to realize what you're here for and why you're trying to do what you're trying to do. So it does take a lot of patience and kind of self-talk, self-love, all those things to really hold it together, to not get bogged down by different responsibilities that you have. There will be times when you will be absolutely alone and you will not have anyone to tell you what to do, and you have to figure it out yourself. You need that level of patience to kind of stay calm and do your job well. Number four is communication skills. I cannot tell you how important is having a good communication skill. I'm telling you why, because there'll be times where you will not have the same ethnicity as the patient. Maybe you're treating a Spanish patient and you're a South Asian, or you're an American and you do not know Spanish, and you would need a human translator for that. And a lot of things get lost in translation. Maybe you want to crack a joke, maybe you want to understand them better, you want to understand their social life better, and they would not open up to you until and unless you have developed a rapport with them. And sometimes even if you have the same ethnicity and you're like too mechanical and too like scientific with your terminology or your communication, you can really you can kind of stop the flow of information that you can get from your patient. So communication skill is extremely important. And what I do with patients who do not share my language is I try to be more compassionate with them. Even if I'm using or taking help from a human translator, I end up trying to crack some jokes or try to know them better, spend more time with them, and try to ask them how their day was, and things that are not probably related to the condition they are in. And it does make a big difference to how you end up treating them and making them feel better. Number five is adaptability. Oh my gosh, there will be times when you will have no nurses. What do you do then? Do you know how to insert a peripheral IV line? If you have no techs, do you know how to do an ultrasound? If you have no tech available, you have no technology available, what do you do? Do you have the physical exam skills that can help you reach a particular diagnosis? If you do not have that, then are you able to take a good history? So you need to get as basic as possible, be as adaptable as possible, so that you can work in any condition that you're in. Sometimes internet can just go off, your working systems can just go off. Do you know how to write the prescription on paper? Do you know how to follow or just write a good note on paper itself or document things? So it's so important to be adaptable, and things can just go haywire at any point in your life, and you can end up at a highly stressful situation or in a trauma unit where you are one of the people who can actually help, or maybe has the knowledge that other people do not possess. How will you be able to help others with the limited knowledge you have? That's where adaptability comes in. And honestly, it's not just about medicine, it's about everything. You need to be adaptable to any condition, any atmosphere, any people you're with, so that you can be happy, calm, and just be in the moment. Number 6 is knowledge. It would be an understatement to say that if a doctor doesn't have knowledge, he cannot do his job. It would be an understatement, because that's true. Literally, you're spending 8 years of school to get to where you are. That is being a resident. Sometimes 6 years, sometimes, it differs. But imagine the amount of work, the amount of exams that you take, the amount of stress that you take in your life to get to where you are. And still, if you don't have the knowledge, or you don't keep updating it, or you're not aware of your surroundings and you don't want to absorb it, then things just don't move forward and your skill just stays where it was. So really, it's the most important thing that I have learned through my residency experience has been that try to absorb on the job. You will have nurses tell you what you can do, techs tell you what you can do, your seniors, your colleagues, everybody has knowledge that you don't have. And try to pick it up and be more like a sponge, so that you can absorb all these things and be so much better than you were when you started. And you just become spectacular. So, and really earlier I used to think that you really have to sit down and read about an hour a day to kind of increase your knowledge. That definitely helps. But I think the most important thing that helps is if you're on the job and you encountered a problem, just open your book or your learning resource right then and try to read that up. Reading at home cannot help you more than what will help you when you're reading on the job and actually absorbing on the job, because it's going to be relevant to the work that you're doing. It's going to always stay in your mind and stick to it. And the last skill, the most important one, is time management. Being a doctor or being in medicine is so hard because you're spending almost 80% of your life here in the hospital, which nobody wants to be in, and it's probably one of the most unhappening places of all. But whatever time you're spending outside of the hospital, make it useful, do things that you really love, because it's going to make you feel so much better when you come back to the job. It makes you feel more energetic, it makes you feel happier, and it just makes you love the job more than just doing that job and being a frustrated individual after your work hours. You feel so much more grateful to be doing the job that you're doing when you end up spending some time for yourself too, when you're outside of work. Do the hobbies that you want to do, play the games that you want to play, meet your friends, try to kind of have a balance. Try to do things that you really like, and it really makes your life wonderful, colorful, and happening. And those were my thoughts about what are the most important skills every doctor should have. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to keep watching Snehalji 101. I keep uploading the videos almost every week. Subscribe to the bell icon to know when I'm uploading the next video. Alright, I'm gonna take off and you have a great week ahead. Bye!